To the Miss Linda C. Jones YouTube variety channel. I am coming to you live from my beautiful historic hometown of New Orleans, Louisiana. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Today is All Saints Day in my beautiful historic hometown of New Orleans, Louisiana, and one of the appropriate songs that we sing in church, it's a beautiful gospel song, so perfect for this day. Shall we gather at the river? So I have a link in the description of this video. Just feel free to click on that free link and you can listen to my recording of it. Incidentally, it was one of my mom's favorite songs, and it was when I planned the musical extravaganza for my mother's sending forth to her life in heaven at her funeral mass. We had this song at offertory, and we decided in my collaboration with other musicians that we would do it a cappella. So four-part harmony, SATB, and Rick. Hey, Ricardo, if you're listening. How, my sweet Ricardo, how's it going? So I remember Rick telling me when he came in for my mom's funeral how that song touched him and it just sounded angelic. And so I thought that was a nice touch to do an a cappella version. Anyway, we remember, I'm mentioning my mom because we remember our deceased loved ones, and this song happens to also be appropriate for All Saints Day. I wanted to give you all out there who are not from New Orleans a little bit of the history. All Saints Day is celebrated in the Christian Catholic Church all over the world. And of course, in my beautiful historic hometown of New Orleans, we celebrate like no place in the world, right? Although I love all places, much love to everybody because there's something cool about where everybody is from and where they live. But I'm from New Orleans, so, of course, I'm going to speak of New Orleans. So I wanted to share with you just a little bit. This is from, let's see, Marielle Sanji, I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. Marielle Sanji, an article online. It says All Saints Day, and I quote, All Saints Day in New Orleans ain't quote unquote like anywhere else. New Orleanians have always had a cultural, if not sometimes morbid, fascination with death. Well, I don't know about that, but I'm reading her article. I think it's good. One need only walk in the streets of the city to hear the echoes of tour guides telling ghost stories or see French Quarter apartments for rent that boast apartment is haunted, signs hanging from their galleries to know that our relationship with death and the afterlife is a little different. After all, where else are cemeteries and the ornate tombs therein such a part of the fabric and architecture of everyday life? It's no surprise that we in New Orleans take our All Saints Day traditions very seriously, while people in other cities pull themselves from their um, events. I'm not going to say that word. To head to work the next morning after Halloween festivities, New Orleanians travel in masses to the cemeteries to honor their loved ones and pay homage to those that came and went before them. Brought to New Orleans from France, La Toussaint. All Saints Day is celebrated November the 1st as a holy day of obligation by Catholics who believe that the bond between the living and the dead is never broken. And I certainly believe that because when we leave this life, we live on. It is our spirit that lives on. That's how our love lives on. That's my words right there. But to continue with this article, the bond between the living and the dead is never broken, and that on this day, the souls of those we lost in the past year travel on to the other side. It's the duty of the living to honor those who have died with a yearly remembrance that includes prayer, dedication, the cleaning and whitewashing of the family plot or tomb, and leaving flowers, beads, prayer cards, or other mementos to let the departed know that they were visited. Additionally, according to the Archdiocese of New Orleans, All Saints Day is dedicated to the saints of the church. those who have been formally canonized, and those who have yet to be recognized through canonization. During the 19th century, All Saints' Day traditions were more celebrated, with mobs of people crowding the cemeteries to honor the dead and to pay their respects not only through tending to the tombs, but with a mass considered more than just a solemn day of observance. Families would take the opportunity to get together and socialize. I continue with the article by Marielle Sanji. According to the New Orleans Catholic cemeteries in 1843, the Times-Picayune described the scene in the following way. Repairing at rather a late hour to the Catholic cemetery, we found a dense throng of people entering it, for which the gateway seemed vastly too confined. Such were the numbers pressing in, nor was there any distinction of colors, class, or nation. People of all hues and derivation and both sexes were crowding for admittance, some to honor the departed, others to witness the singular observances, entering the sad portals opening to the house prepared for all the living. We found its long, sad aisles lined on either hand with their rows of crowded monuments, which are usually relieved in their glaring whiteness only by a few scattered cypresses and willows, all hung with chaplets of fresh plucked flowers in every variety of form which can taste the dictate. The article goes on. You can look it up. Again, it's by Marielle Sanji. And I think it's a wonderful article. I don't agree, Marielle, with, but that's okay. We all have our own opinion, with a fascination for the dead. But in my Christian faith, in my Christian Catholic faith, it's that we are honoring because they are living beyond this life. And so to each his own in their belief. But I think that's an outstanding article by Marielle. The article is from October the 31st of 2019. And if you want to read the remainder of the article, it's really outstanding. But that gives you a little bit of the history of how we honor. So I also understand from some of my elders that I have spoken with, they have said also that back in the day on All Saints' Day in New Orleans, they have said that actually the tradition was so intensely kept that back in those days that people were actually given that day off from work. How about that? That's pretty amazing, right? That's pretty amazing. So I didn't get to sing for any masses this year, but because I'm recovering from these two sprains, and I feel like I've kind of made the turn to feel a little bit better each day. So thank you, Jesus, and thank you for all the prayers, everybody. I am phenomenally grateful and so grateful that it wasn't worse. I'm just so grateful. So anyway, I would encourage you to look up some of the history of All Saints' Day. Traditions are really cool. And when we learn where they come from, we learn about our history, and I think we're also able to learn about ourselves when we look at traditions from days gone by, how they have evolved to current day and how they carry on. So I would encourage you to look up All Saints' Day in general, and also look up All Saints' Day in New Orleans. There are so many articles online that are really phenomenal. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, but I wanted to do these two videos, my birthday extravaganza month beginning today, and of course All Saints' Day is November the 1st. So I just want to say thanks. I just want to say to each and every one of you, I'm really grateful. And if you happen to be happening upon my channel, please consider subscribing. It's absolutely free of charge, and it's a great way to help myself and other artists on this platform with no charge to you. Subscribing is a mega way that you can help us out. So please at least think about that. I have a little something on here for everyone, I think. Maybe not everyone, but faith, family, friends, my music, my faith. I try to share mega inspirational stories that uplift. So, yeah, things like that. That's what my channel is about. And again, a shout out to Rick if you're listening. Rick, thank you also for your sweet, kind, positive words in our conversation yesterday. I'm really grateful, Ricardo. So thank you. All right, everybody. May the peace of Christ be with you all. God bless.